Hey guys, it's Mike here, and in Dragon Ball Z, in the Dragon Ball series as a whole, Piccolo has a number of really powerful techniques. However, there is one that everyone has a massive misconception about just how it works, particularly the Makanko Sapo or Special Beam Cannon. And everyone is wrong about the fact that they believe that Piccolo needs so much time in order to ever utilize this move that it basically becomes completely ineffective. But the truth is that's not quite the case. Because if we actually go back to the Saiyan saga, when Piccolo first introduced his ultimate technique here, that is something that he says takes a lot of time. Now, there is a misconception a lot of fans have that they believe that Piccolo's Makanko Sapo took 5 minutes to charge up against Raditz. However, as you can see right here, it doesn't say that anywhere, because that is something that was made up by the English dub, one of many dub changes that occurred along the way. Piccolo just says it takes a lot of time to build up the necessary ki, and that Goku would have to keep them distracted. So many people will say Goku is way more powerful than Piccolo because at this point he held off Raditz for 5 minutes while he was building his power up. That didn't happen. We have no idea how long this actually took. We just know it took a little bit. We know that Raditz was fighting Goku, but I mean, he was multiple times stronger than Goku, so if he really wanted to kill him, he could. He was enjoying the thrill of the fight as a Saiyan warrior, and then Goku goes to charge up his own attack, where he is able to more than double his energy output, going from 416 to 924 with the Kamehameha and Rising. But Raditz notices that the power of the Makanko Sapo is going up to well over 1,000, well above Goku's. In a little bit less time, Goku charges up his attack. But again, notice Piccolo's is stronger. So again, this idea that he needs a way longer time to charge it up, he could have fired it right now, but he didn't, because his target was not Son Goku, somebody who had a 416. It was Raditz, somebody who had a 1200. No, it's not 1500. It is 12. They say that directly in the manga. The primary canon, we see that he finally goes to use it. His power level had risen with that technique, the output, to 1330, which would kill Raditz, as we see later on, and then he fires it. This technique is not useless, because not only did it not take 5 minutes for this to happen, it could have taken 5 seconds, knowing Dragon Ball time. I mean, look at everything that happened in the fight between Roshi and Krillin in 1 second. Look at everything that happened, especially in the anime version, where they have 47-year-long conversations in just 5 minutes on Namek between Goku and Frieza. Actually, way less than that, because Goku still needed to get off the planet. So yeah, this move is definitely capable of taking somebody out. The only reason it didn't hit Raditz here is because he was like 3 times faster and stronger than Piccolo. He was so fast that at the start of their fight, Raditz runs toward them from the front, and then he hits them from behind. Every time we see Piccolo charging up this move, like for example, against Frost in the Universe 6 tournament. Remember, Frost is incredibly powerful, and he was also acting, which a lot of people don't seem to realize, like he was actually weaker than he was by the time of the fight against Piccolo. Frost was a liar. He cheated to beat Goku. But Frost in his xenomorph form, which is like Frieza's third, was able to defeat base Goku at that point in the Universe 6 tournament. Not because Goku was just not using his Reservoir of God Ki that exists separately from his main power, but rather because Frost was stronger than Super Saiyan God from Battle of Gods, which Goku's base at that point is at least somewhere in the vicinity of, because not only did he absorb the power, but then he trained up until Resurrection F, got a brand new form. He also trained for 3 years straight with Vegeta in the time chamber. So the idea that Piccolo, oh, he can't even use it against somebody who's weak and tired like Frost, it's like, no, Piccolo is fighting a guy who's way stronger than Battle of God, Super Saiyan God, who in the anime version was punching Beerus so hard he was destroying the entire universe. So I think that people like really massively overestimate how long it takes Piccolo to charge his move. Like for instance, in the past in versus battles, I brought up the fact that Piccolo would possibly utilize this in his fight against Android 17. I think that this is one of the techniques, Piccolo's technique, especially if we want to use the super continuity, where Piccolo can pierce through barriers. He did that with with a barrier created by an angel, in the Universe 6 tournament. Piccolo, from what we can tell, has a greater energy output capability than 17. He was able to put so much power into his attacks like the Hellzone Grenade, where he would have killed 17 as far as he thought, except for the fact 17 had the barrier. But instead of doing the Light Grenade later on that he does against Cell, 17 jumps out of the way of this attack, and that kind of signifies that that level of energy would be too much for his barrier. But if Piccolo goes to use the Makanko Sapo, it's not going to take him several minutes to charge up against 17. He could probably do it way faster because they're on the same level of power. Whereas, again, Raditz and Fudost are on a much higher level of power. In fact, there are numerous examples in the anime where we see that Piccolo can use the Makanko Sapo very quickly. It's not something that always takes a lot of energy comparative to who he's fighting, because somebody could be weaker than Piccolo and he still uses it and pierces through a number of them. Look at the fight also with him fighting against the Universe 6 Namekians in the Tournament of Power. Every episode for the most part is like a minute or less, like they constantly do. There's this many minutes left at the end of the episodes, which means that Piccolo charged up enough energy in the Makanko Sapo to defeat characters that are around the level of like Super Saiyan Blue Goku based upon the feats of them fighting and overpowering Gohan, like literally going through his Kamehameha at one point before Piccolo hits them, and Gohan punched Goku into the Kaioken, which a lot of people didn't think Gohan was anywhere near as strong as Blue Goku at the time. And then of course in the next movie after Broly, he just goes from, again, Ultimate to Beast immediately. But either way, I think there's enough evidence in the anime, and especially in the manga, that Piccolo's Makanko Sapo, his special beam cannon, is completely underrated by fans in terms of how capable he is of using it. And at the same time, it is also extremely capable when it comes to a lot of battles. Why Piccolo doesn't use it very often? Like Vegeta said in the Universe 6 tournament, it is something that he does have to focus intensely on. So if he is charging it up, there is still a little bit of weakness. But as we saw, Piccolo has over time gained the ability to utilize a lot of different tricks and tactics to make it where it's effective. The only time he ever really struggles with it and is super vulnerable the whole time and has to have somebody fight for him is when he is fighting a much stronger opponent. And that's why I would say pretty much everyone, I'm sure that there are some of you out there who already know this because you have seen the anime and read the manga many times too, are wrong about this situation. Because Piccolo can hit that move pretty darn quickly, and if you're on his level or weaker, it's probably going to do some damage to you unless you find some way to circumvent it. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments, and make sure to stick around, because there's a lot more videos about Piccolo to come in the future. Just not the future timelines, because he's dead there.
Yo, and you better subscribe.